In November 1987, the town of Red Hollow, West Virginia, was already shrinking. Coal jobs had dried up, families were moving away, and the Starlight Drive-In Theater was one of the last places people gathered after dark. On Friday nights, teenagers parked their cars in neat rows, radios tuned to the same frequency, windows fogging up as movies flickered against the hillside screen. On November 13th, the feature film was a forgettable romantic comedy. No one remembers the title. What they remember is what happened after the movie ended. At exactly 11:42 p.m., the screen went black mid-credit. At first, the audience assumed it was a technical issue. Then the speakers crackled, not with music, but with a voice calm, slow. Unfamiliar, the voice spoke for just under 2 minutes. It did not identify itself. It did not threaten anyone. Instead, it described the people sitting in their cars. Names were spoken aloud. Home addresses followed. Then came personal details, arguments from earlier that week. Secrets never shared, thoughts people had kept to themselves. Panic spread across the lot. Engines started. Headlights flashed on. Some cars sped toward the exit, while others remained frozen. Radios still playing the voice as it calmly moved from one private detail to the next. A teenage couple later told police that the voice described a handwritten letter hidden beneath the girl's mattress, something she had never told anyone about. Another man said the voice mentioned a phone call he had made less than an hour earlier from a private landline. The broadcast ended as abruptly as it began. The drive-in owner, Harold Kemp, swore he had not touched the equipment. The projection booth showed no signs of tampering. The microphone used for announcements was locked inside a cabinet that only Kemp could access. Local radio stations denied any involvement. Emergency frequencies showed no unusual activity. What troubled investigators most was the scope of information. The voice referenced people parked at opposite ends of the lot, individuals with no known connection. The details were current, accurate, and deeply personal. No recording of the transmission was ever recovered. Rumors consumed Red Hollow. Some accused Kemp of staging an elaborate hoax. Others whispered about government surveillance experiments. A few older residents insisted the hillside behind the screen had always felt wrong, even before the drive-in was built. 1 week later, the theater reopened. Attendance was thin, at 11:38 p.m., minutes before the previous incident's timestamp. The projectionist shut down the equipment as a precaution. No broadcast occurred, but several guests reported hearing faint voices through their speakers, even with the radios turned off. The Starlight Drive-In closed permanently the following spring. The land was sold, yet no development ever lasted. Locals still avoid parking there after dark. Some claim that if you sit long enough, your radio will turn on by itself and say your name.